Yes, people. It's GG at GG on Wrestling on Twitter. Moment of silence while you like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And make sure any audio listeners leave a quick review. It helps so much. Thank you for everyone that's been watching these videos. It means a lot. And make sure you're commenting down below with any predictions for the year and any wishes, as bold as they may be. I want to see them all in the comments below. I've got a very special guest, and when the TDM are in the building, you know you've got to have the New Japan drip on. Before I introduce my guest, make sure you go to figtees.co.uk. You can use code GGPod and save yourself 20%. Wide selection of custom t-shirts for your figures. Even does custom designs. So definitely hit him up, and you can even save yourself some money just for watching this video. Basically, the idea is it's 2022. I want to go through some predictions and wishes for the year, and each guest will bring 2 predictions for 2022 and 2 wishes. By the end of the year, we'll have an idea if any of these have happened, and then we'll give 2 points for a correct prediction and 5 points if a wish has come true. Without further ado, my very special guest, dear friend of mine, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, the commissioner, the president, and the CEO of TDM.
Yeah.
Big up yourself, man. Thank you for coming on. How you doing?
Anytime, man. It's a pleasure, man. Always, man. Always. Come on. It's a pleasure, man.
Make sure you subscribe to WRESTHINGS and the Rare podcast. The information will be down below. The video isn't about this, but we always big up the WRESTHINGS podcast. Can we just tell everyone a bit about the Rare podcast and why they should check that out as well?
So the Rare podcast is, we talk about more pop culture stuff, so music, television, or if something might have gone on social media. So if you'd like to, hear me talk about, stuff other than wrestling, check out the Rare podcast. We have a lot of guests. We have other content creators who come on the show. We have influencers who come on the show. And yeah, it's just like if you want a light-hearted conversation about, anything. I mean, our most recent episode was about a zombie apocalypse. So if you want
I see it the other day pop up, and I was like, I need to watch this. This is gonna be foolish.
It's just what good light-hearted content. Definitely check out the Rare podcast. But
yeah, man, definitely. Right, without further ado, let's get in to some predictions and wishes for this year. So NK, bro, if you want to hit me with your first prediction.
I think this one is kind of obvious, and if this doesn't happen, I'll be very surprised. And that is MJF as AEW World Champion.
Yeah, I think it's on a lot of people's predictions, to be honest. What do you think he brings to the title, and do you think it's important that it happens this year?
Yes, I feel like the trajectory MJF has been on. He's hardly ever been pinned in AEW. He's only been pinned by Jericho and Moxley. And he's got a loss to Sean D. He got a loss to Sean D when he gets pinned. That's how I said he's never been pinned. But and he's always, feuded with some of the top guys in the company, whether it's been Cody, whether it's been Jericho, whether it's been Moxley. MJF has always been positioned as that guy. And even with the 4 pillar stuff, I mean, he's the one who came up with the term. So he's like, in terms of like their top stars, their top homegrown stars, like MJF is that person. And I just feel like it would make so much sense if he wins the title, and especially if it goes from Hangman straight to him, because you've got, your babyface champion, who the crowd seems to love, and who's beloved by the fans, and then having MJF be that heel, because we really haven't had. We've had heel champions like Jericho and Omega, but we haven't had champions that we really hate. Like Jericho was kind of like, he was a heel, but he was kind of a comedic heel at times. And Kenny Omega, like, even though he was doing some dastardly things, I mean, you can't really hate Kenny. Like,
he's still Kenny Omega.
Exactly. But MJF is that, heel that you will go there and crowds will have no problem booing him. You could put anyone in the ring against him, and MJF will find a way to make himself get booed. So, yeah, I feel like we just need that dastardly heel champion that we want to pay to see lose.
Do you know what I like as well? Because it's not even, I wouldn't even say it's to the point. Obviously, a lot of people are behind MJF, like we're
Yeah,
fans of him,
yeah,
but it's almost as if it's become like a part of the show that we do boo him. I know that sounds
yeah,
silly because obviously wrestling is, keeping kayfabe and everything anyway, but generally we see these hills get so hot that they're being cheered and you can't shut up the boos. But because the crowd's so smart, they know we still got to boo this guy and we enjoy doing it. And he's
yeah,
managed to maintain that, which is very tricky. But because he just dials it up so much, like he's just such a great hill, man. We
yeah.
how long would you like MJF to hold this belt for?
9 months. I'd like
Yeah,
a very lengthy title reign. Because I feel like Hangman Page's title reign is going to be short, and I think it should be short. So I feel like a very, you know, long reign for MJF would be amazing. And then, like the because I think it will build up the intrigue of potential opponents, potential people
the
to defeat him
chase,
because
the
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 check because
chase will
there's so
be
many people
mad.
in that mix. I mean, obviously you've got the other members of the Four Pillars. Who knows what somebody like a Hook will be doing in a year's time? Who knows what somebody like Eddie Kingston will be doing? I mean, there's so many various different opponents that we would love to see beat MJF. So, yeah, I just feel like MJF as a heel champ has so much potential, and I feel like it's the logical step, especially from Hangman Page.
And I just think it's important as well. A hill champion can be utilized so well to,
Yeah.
like we said, that chase and that those baby faces that we can really
Mm,
get behind because we want someone to dethrone MJF. If you had
mm.
to pick one person then to take the title of MJF, um, let's talk. Let's say wish, not prediction. Who would you love to take it off MJF after he wins it?
Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, man.
Eddie Kingston.
Oh, that program would be
That program would be
insane.
insane. Insane. The
And they
promos back
and
up. Yeah.
and they've both, it's on their CVs now. Their segments, like I know, obviously both of them are against CM Punk, but those segments did well. They were very
Yeah.
entertaining. So
Yeah.
now take CM Punk out of the equation, have them two go at it. Fireworks. Can't
100%.
wait.
100%.
How confident are you in this prediction to become true? Silly
What,
question, but
what, this one or my next one?
MJF one.
I'm quite confident. I'd say
If you're to
probably
like rate it out of 10, like how likely this is to happen this year, what do you reckon?
8.
8. I would even go as far as a 9 or a 10. Well, 10's a bit, yeah.
10, I'd
9, I
say
would
8.
say.
I'd say 8 because they could always switch gears, but I think it's an 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So strong prediction to start things off, man. Hit
Yeah.
us with your next prediction, please.
This one is kind of this one like it's a prediction because I thought it makes logical sense, but the likelihood of it happening is up in the air. And
Mm,
That is Ember Moon Athena will debut in AW.
mm. What
I
do you,
feel
is that?
like yeah,
Do you think that's likely to happen?
quite possible. I see it by Double or Nothing. Because I think Double or Nothing is when they do the women's casino battle royal. I mean, they switch it up each year, so we don't know. But
Mm.
because I remember
She'll
the
be a
first Double or
very good
Nothing,
shout for that.
yeah, I remember the first Double or Nothing. They did the women's casino battle royal, and then last year's Double or Nothing was the men's one. So I think it might alternate between different years. But whatever happens, I feel like yeah, Athena will debut in AEW. I feel like she's a very necessary piece in that roster. The
Mm.
women's division is improving, but there are still, deficiencies here and there. And I feel like Ember Moon is somebody because I feel like that division. It's gonna sound weird. I want to say it lacks, but it lacks super elite workers. I can only think of a couple that come to mind. Maybe your Rihos, your Thunder Roses, your Hikaru Shidas, and
Your seasoned women as well.
yes,
Like,
and obviously Serena Deeb. I can't forget her, but
yeah.
I feel like Ember Moon is somebody that um provides that experience. She has experience being on television.
Mm.
She's a character that other people know, and I feel like she could resonate well. And also, as well, not to delve too much into this topic, but representation has been an ongoing conversation. And I feel like Ember Moon is somebody, who could very much be a premier woman in that division, and somebody, who could, help solve the ongoing issue that is representation in wrestling. So yeah, I feel like Ember
Yeah.
Moon is a signing that should happen.
Took the words out of my mouth, to be honest. I was going to say it's very important at this time that
Yeah,
something like this happens. We've been screaming for a big woman signing, like just a
yeah,
well-known, debut. Like, Ruby Soho, give her credit. She's, established herself, but
yeah,
Ember Moon could change things, and yeah, it's something that needs to happen at the moment, man.
yeah,
And
definitely.
now I'm thinking about it. Her just running to the ring in a casino battle royale, jumping on the top rope straight away, hitting the
Yeah,
eclipse. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
insane.
sounds
It'd be
good to
insane.
me. Sounds
Yeah,
very good to me. Um, would you do you reckon this is likely then? I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, there's nowhere else for her to go.
yeah.
She's a Booker T protege, isn't she? Ember.
I'm not too sure about that, but that could be the case. I'm not too sure. I
I'm
can't say
pretty
it for
sure
myself.
that's the case. But yeah, I mean, my fingers are crossed. I hope that prediction does come true,
Hopefully,
man. It'd be good to see her.
because I feel like
Um,
with debuts, I feel like if we're gonna get any more debuts, it should be on the women's side because the men's roster is kind of stacked right now. And I feel like
yeah,
aside from maybe one or like maybe one major signing from the men, I feel like with the men like we've enough, like it's enough. But I feel like with the women, there's enough space for more women to be incorporated. Hopefully they used well, but I feel like the women could use a bit of a boost, a notable name coming through to really give that division some oomph because it's
yeah.
slowly getting there, but it's still
Mm.
taking baby steps to get to where it should be, and it's been like 2 years. So, yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's a shame. I think Ruby was supposed to be that kind of effect, but it just hasn't, just blown up as much as the initial, debut was great.
uh,
But I think a character like Ember Moon or whatever she will be
yeah,
known as, Athena, going forward. Yeah, I think that just her character is very intriguing as well. And if she can work at that level, you've ticked two boxes straight away.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man. I hope that happens. That'll be good to see. Cool. So
Hmm.
let's get on to your wishes. So I obviously prepped all my guests beforehand, and the wilder the better. And yeah, just any kind of dream scenarios they want to happen this year. So hit me with your first one, NK.
We get Shibata versus Brian Danielson. At some point, doesn't matter if it's in New Japan. Most likely it'd be in America just because of travel restrictions and stuff like that in Japan. But yeah, I need to see this match. Danielson has had like in terms of like initial runs in a company. I mean, you talk about hitting it out of the park straight away. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can think of many introductions to a company that's been better than Danielson. He's been incredible. He's been absolutely incredible, and you know, I just feel like he's on the like he's reminding like people. We always knew that Danielson was one of the best wrestlers in the world. We always knew, but like he's reminding you, I'm really one of the best to ever do it, and week in, week out. He's putting on memorable matches with whoever he's against. He hasn't had a bad match since coming into AEW. And obviously, most recently, we just had the return of Shibata in New Japan. And these are kind of two guys that we thought we'd never see wrestle again. Obviously, Danielson returned much earlier than Shibata, but when Danielson retired, we thought that was it. We thought it was
Mm.
done. And Shibata, like, we really thought he was done. So the fact that these
You
two are
saw
back,
the. I don't. Did you know
yeah,
about that beforehand? Like him having to get his brain removed and put
I
back
didn't.
in
Yeah,
Shibata.
that's crazy. That's insane. That is insane.
And he's
Like
wrestling, bruv, and he's still standing up on 2 feet.
the fact
Mad.
that he can even walk, let alone wrestle, is a miracle. And yeah, this is just like given the relationship between the two companies. I mean, I know, you know, TK or those at New Japan are thinking that we have to get this match. I mean, with how great the Minoru Suzuki match was, if you put Shibata and Danielson on a pay per view, maybe a double or nothing or an all out. you're gonna get fireworks. Like you're gonna get like match of the year contender easily, and yeah, this is just a match that please let it happen. And plus, Shibata trains in the LA dojo, so he's mostly in America. So it's like you could find some way to do it. You could find a way to do it. So yeah, that's the match I
That's
definitely
what
need to see.
I was gonna say, that because this I don't feel, although it is a dream match scenario, and we know
Yeah,
AEW have pulled them out the bag. Like you said, we've seen Brian Suzuki. That's another dream
yeah,
match that we've had this,
yeah,
last year.
yeah,
And like you said, he's in LA. He's got the LA dojo. It's not unfathomable that he could just,
yeah.
you know. And is this a reach? Tell me if this is a reach or not. Yeah. Um, Shibata, what does he love doing to mans? What put him
What
out the game? What
headbutts?
move? Yeah.
What
And
headbutt?
name a spot from Hangman and Danielson
The
this week.
headbutts. I can't. The headbutt. I can't
Am I
lie.
reaching? Am I reaching?
I never want to. I never want to see Shabbat do a head. I
No,
fucking
same,
refuse.
same, 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 same,
I
same,
never. Because
same.
the thing about
Brother,
Shabbat's
oh,
head does, he doesn't that spot with
there's
Hangman and
oh
Danielson.
yeah.
It was very kayfabe to protected. Shabbat don't play that. He's really gonna headbutt you. I
The
don't want to see that.
sound, bro. The
Yeah,
sound. I can't.
that
Oh,
spot is cringe. But the slaps in the face, like I would love that spot where they would just slap each other in the face because Shibata really loves his slaps and his kicks. And yeah, it'll be like just the different elements of the match, whether it's the strong style stuff, the elbows, the kicks, whether it's the submission game, the grappling. Like that match would be insane, man. That match would be absolutely tremendous.
bro. Even if Shibata wants to come out and they just tease us with the little UWF rules just to start with, just to
Yeah,
see these man roll around. You're not
hundred
seeing us
percent,
strike yet, and then the second go around, then you see us really start
100%,
striking.
100%.
Uh, uh, give me a score out of 10 on this one. Then, what do you reckon? How likely is this wish to come through this year?
Five,
Yeah,
five.
I don't know if it would go for a six. I don't know. I'm leaning now because the LA Dojo's right there, man. He's
Yeah,
active.
yeah.
It's not unfathomable, and surely I've not personally ever seen any kind of mentions from Danielson about Shibata, but I'm sure
Yeah,
that's
I'm
somebody
sure there's
he's
the
itching to
hundred
face.
percent. Yeah, 100%.
Woo, mad, fucking mad.
It's a
Uh,
crazy time we live in.
these
It's a
things
crazy.
can happen, bro. They can happen
It's it's
easily.
it's mad. It's mad.
Oh, crazy. Cool. Let's go. And both of these are very on brand, by the way. I appreciate that.
TDM, man. Come on, TDM,
Yeah.
TDM.
Uh, c- cool. So hit me with your final wish for the year.
AEW forms some working relationship with Stardom, and we get some Stardom women in AEW. Like it's unlikely, but if you could get some of them for the Owen, if you could get some of them for the Owen,
Stop
please, like
it.
I'm begging you, like get Mayu Utani, get Utami Hayashishida, get Starlight, get because these Stardom girls like are incredible. Like Stardom's a product I got into kind of last year, and I dibbled and dabbled here and there, but from the stuff I've seen, like I've probably seen like maybe 7 matches from Stardom like last year, and then obviously I saw the showcase match that they had at Wrestle Kingdom 16, and yeah, like this is TDM, so I don't care. They are far beyond what we see on television today. Like their work is so good. It's better than most men's matches you see on a weekly basis. Like, and it's insane. Like those women are incredible, and I feel like because Stardom's quite. I'd say it's the hardest product to get into. It's very different, even compared to traditional. It's very different, and I just feel like a spotlight on them on like a AW pay per view or in a tournament like the Owen would be amazing for them. And then the matches you would get, I think those girls would bring out the best of the AEW girls. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like a working relationship between those two would be tremendous, and it really women's wrestling. I mean, has already evolved, but I just feel like it pushed the boundary even further, and like show people like, no, this is what women's wrestling can really do. So yeah, like that's a partnership that I want to happen. Is it likely? Probably not, but you can dream.
Yeah, I'm very guilty of like neglecting Stardom. Like I see the clips and I'm just seeing how crisp the work is and how like the chemistry between these women is just like unmatched
Beautiful.
between the women we see here. It is like the clips I'm seeing are different levels, and they AEW did try and push some Joshi wrestling, and that there was some very solid matches in that tournament, where they were featured, but
Yeah,
yeah, right. I think there needs to be a stronger spotlight on them to really try and bring that,
yeah,
and Maki Ito, for example, like
yeah.
it's a big shame that we only got to see like a
One.
very small part of her, because I think
Mhm.
she translates so well. I think to
She does. She does. I
like
feel like,
everyone knows how
yeah.
big K-pop is, and that kind of movement has come across. So
I feel she just has like for what even though Maki Ito is not Stardom, she's various different Japanese companies. But there's an energy that she had in ring wise. I'm not gonna lie, she's not the greatest. She's nothing
no,
bad special. But as a persona, as a presence, she's very refreshing and she's very entertaining. So I'm
mm,
not really, and she has a good social media presence. So I'm not really sure why they didn't bring her around often. But
mm.
yeah, just getting a lot of these like Joshi women, these Japanese wrestlers, specifically the Stardom ones, involved. I'm telling you, like it will change. A lot of people's eyes will be opened because people underestimate how good they are. The clips don't even do it justice, but the clips are amazing. The clips,
Yeah,
I think,
I can imagine.
I've seen some of these matches and I'm like, well, like
There's
this
one
is like,
match from
yeah.
last year that like was like it's up there, and I'm sure you've told me about it a few times. And forgive me, I won't be able to remember the names, but
Was
like,
it Utah? Was it six? Was the one that Meltzer gave 6 stars or something?
yeah, it
Yeah, it
was
was
on. It's
Utami. It was Utami Hashishita versus Shuri. That match, it's when I watched the match first time because the match has a finish. I won't spoil the finish, but the match ends in a unique way. But up until a certain point, I was like, this match is alright, but it's nothing special. And then something happens, and then these women like kick into overdrive, and I'm like, what am I watching? That this is insane. Like they're doing
mm,
brain busters, they're doing like German suplexes with a bridge perfectly, Phoenix Black. I'm like, these women are
that's it
absolutely
as well.
insane.
The form, like the form
Yes,
of these women is just so good, man. And even I
like
always hear the name
mhm.
Julia as well is supposed
Yes,
to be a
Julia.
really
Yeah, Julia's a star. I wouldn't be surprised. Julia's a name that I am not surprised whether it's WWE, whether it's AEW. In I'd say the next 5 6 years, she will be on American television. Like she just looks like she's money. She looks like money.
mm,
Um, and I think she's got an American background. Again, I might be wrong, but I think she's got American upbringing. So I don't know how her English is, but like she's got American family. But regardless of that, she's a star. She looks the part. She works the part. Like yeah, she's gonna be something very special very soon. Very soon.
100%. Well, I think we both, are on the same page here, where it's probably not very likely to happen, but you
No.
have convinced me that is a very good idea. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, why not give me a New Japan name, maybe one other that hasn't been mentioned that you'd love to see open that door
I mean, I have
and
to.
take a little peek through.
I mean, there's only one name that I can bring up. I mean, he is the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, the Rainmaker. Like he has to this year, he has to come. He's been talking about how he wants to wrestle Punk, how he wants to wrestle Danielson. Like I need at a pay-per-view the lights to go out, the light completely shut off the lights,
And just hear it.
cling, and that's that. I just needed the cling and like yeah, like I want like one of my dream scenarios was like a whole New Japan versus AEW pay-per-view, but that's not happening because travel the world the way the world is. But it's like I've
I think
already
it
like
will happen, just not yet.
just not yet, but I've already thought of a dream card in my head, like the way the card, like I've already thought of certain matches here and there. But yeah, Okada versus Danielson, you know, I think that's the match that intrigues me the most. I know some people want to see Okada versus Omega, but as much if that match gets announced, I'll be fine with it. But
Yeah,
like, it's perfect. The match,
it's not priority.
the series as it is, their 4 matches are perfect, and the story's already been told. For me, Okada versus Danielson is the match to make. Is the match to make, and it'd be tremendous. Okada versus Punk would be a good match in terms of the publicity and the notoriety, and I feel like it'd be a very good match because Okada, Danielson. I mean, Punk isn't a bad wrestler. I don't like this narrative that Punk's automatically a bad wrestler,
No.
but if we're being real, the match to make is Okada Danielson, and Okada needs to step foot in AEW. We
Do you know,
need,
I
yeah,
think that would be a great rub for Okada as well, man. Because
yes,
let's not fool ourselves. He's not,
yeah,
yeah, people may know his name. The casual
yeah,
fans may have heard of
yeah,
him, but they don't know who he is.
yeah,
So a big name like that is going to really work wonders for Okada. You know, it's not just about
100%.
Danielson getting his dream match or Okada getting what he wants. It's good for business, both
The,
sides.
I, yeah,
Go on, go on.
I was gonna say, I feel like the reason why I want Okada to step through in AEW so badly is because obviously, there's only so many times you can say watch New Japan, and maybe New Japan might not be somebody's thing. It might be too inaccessible for them. I really want Okada on a big stage to just show the world what he can do. Show an audience of people that might not be familiar with him, might not be, there's a reason, like, because there's some people that may look at us, TDM members, and we say Okada's the GOAT, and they're like, what's he the GOAT for? Like, I even had on wrestling, big up Afro. Afro is somebody who's very knowledgeable about wrestling, but he said, I just don't see the hype of Okada. And I was like, oh, cool. So I feel like this would be an amazing platform for Okada to showcase himself, to really show people what he could do. Because I'm sure even with the Suzuki match, that was a lot of people's first time watching Minoru Suzuki wrestle. And, it gave them an insight into what he could do. And I feel like with Okada, putting him, no disrespect to Suzuki, but Okada's never going to be on a bike. He's not, he should not be on YouTube. He shouldn't even be on Dynamite. That is
Nah.
no ad breaks, nothing. I need pay-per-view. The only time I say he should probably appear on a Dynamite is if you're building to the match at the pay-per-view. But you know what I think they should do before, I know we're running out of time. I think they should do.
Go.
I don't know if you remember in NXT when Nakamura was announced. In fact, not NXT. This is what they should do. They should like give Brian a mystery opponent for a pay-per-view. It should just give him just say, I don't know what authority figure it is. Just say, listen, Danielson's like, I'm gonna wrestle anybody who wants to step up to the challenge. Nobody steps up. Then TK or whoever on Twitter makes an announcement that a mystery opponent has been booked for,
And he's
Double or Nothing.
money.
You
better check the weather.
Yes, do the tease like you did with CM Punk. Do that. We're waiting. Danielson comes up. We're waiting. The crowd goes silent. You hear the coin drop, and then Okada comes out. I think they should do it like that. Like, don't even announce he's coming.
Straight in the ring as well. We see him and we see what he's about.
Yes, I don't think it should be a promo segment. No, get him out in his full entrance and get him in the ring. History will be made.
100%. And I think your point about him working over here as well, it's about, I don't know if I'm using this word correctly, but maybe more palatable for some people, his style. It might sound like a very strange analogy, but there's some people that like ketchup on all their food, yeah. But if you maybe give them something they've never tried, they put a bit of ketchup on it, they eat it, they might go, oh, this is actually nice. And then they might try that food again. So it's just I think it's that. Tell me if I'm reaching again. night 3 of New Japan, if there was no COVID, do you think that would have been a different partnership?
No, but if there was no COVID, we would have seen a lot more AEW talent on night 1 or 2.
Do you think? Or they would
Yeah.
still would have done maybe Noah? Or they would have been like, we don't need you, man.
I feel like they would have done Noah because I feel like all the Japanese companies want to just and it's their 50th anniversary as well. So they just wanted to do a big collaboration with the other Japanese lot. But 100%, I thought if there was no COVID, we would have seen, in my opinion, it's my opinion, if there was no COVID, the belt collector run would have included one of their titles. Maybe not the world title, but Kenny would have been US champion or something. And yeah, I feel like if those once the doors open up, because New Japan and AEW, I think it's very clear their relationship is in a very good place. Like they like working with each other. No, even Okada's mentioned Orange Cassidy several times in interviews, so their relationship's in a good place. Once the borders open up, once things really get popping, don't be surprised if we see people in the best of Super Juniors or the G1. It will happen. It's going to happen.
I don't know, man. I feel like it could have been. There's an alternate reality out there where that night 3 was a AEW New Japan Super Show.
Could possibly be. I feel like we'll get that at one point.
Yeah, 100%. Not this year, maybe even not next year, but it's gonna happen.
We need to do a video when we build a card.
What super card? Yeah, let's do it, man.
We need to do where we build a super card. Maybe
stay tuned.
Like eight matches. We build a card. Picking a main event is impossible. There's too many possibilities.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Right, cool. Thank you very much for joining me, NK. Always a pleasure, my bro. Always good to have you on the channel. TDM for life. Make sure you subscribe to WRESTHINGS. Make sure you check out the Rare podcast. Follow NK on socials. It's all down below. Make sure you check out figtees.co.uk for all your custom figure shirts, and you can use code GGPOD, save yourself some money. That is it. Respect yourself. Don't neglect yourself. Peace.